Calling all Less Than Jake fans. The second leg of the Summer Circus 2025 is happening soon. We'll be starting out west in Phoenix, Arizona on Friday, July 25th, and taking it all the way through until Saturday, August 16th, where we wrap it all up in Nashville, Tennessee. Join us for a night of rambunctious ska punk music with our friends Fishbone, The Suicide Machine, and Catfight. Grab your tickets now at lessthanjake.com. The Summer Circus 2025 is almost here. Limited VIP tickets are available for each stop as well. Those too can be found at lessthanjake.com. Bring your dancing shoes along with your circus-themed outfits. We can't wait to see you. This episode is brought to you by DistroKid. Hey everybody, today's guest is Jason McMaster, lead vocalist for the Austin, Texas rock and roll band Dangerous Toys. Together, we interrupt your slumber and take a deep dive into the writing, recording, and inspiration behind the hit single, Scared, taken from their 1989 self-titled debut album. What a tune. You may be surprised to know that Scared was the inspiration for not one, but two different Less Than Jake songs. I told Jason that Scared really stuck out to me when I first heard it as a 16-year-old high school kid. It wasn't your typical hard rock song about drinking, partying, and sex. Nah, there was a little bit more going on under the hood here. This song was a tribute to a very famous shock rocker, with certain lyrics Jason pointed out to me that aren't as subtle as I once thought they were. Both Google and these ears each heard a lyric in the song exactly the same, but incorrect, and Jason set me straight on something I've been singing wrong for 36 years. This was a song from my youth that I proudly listen to this day and get the same feeling every time. Pure joy. So don't be too scared. We'll be gentle. Hey, hey, have you heard? Krista makes a podcast. Hey, hey, have you heard? Krista makes a podcast. Hey, hey, have you heard? Krista makes a podcast. Hey, hey, have you heard? Krista makes a podcast. All right, Jason. Fall of '89. This song means so much to me. That fall, I got my wheels, man. September 27th, '89, I turned 16. I got to go work at my first dishwashing job at Ria's Restaurante in Port Charlotte, Florida. And this song was part of that fall's soundtrack. I've debunked one rumor, and I debunked this back when I was in high school. The other rumor I still don't know. And I'm just going to ask you straight off, was this song an homage to Alice Cooper?
Yeah, it even says in the fine print in the album.
Okay, it was in the record. Okay.
That it's sort of a nod to Alice, dedicated to Alice. I've always been an Alice fan, right? So it's easy to say that for some reason I was particularly heavy into an Alice kick, if you will, while I was writing lyrics. And this may sound strange, but you know, this would have been in '88, and it would have been like summer of '88. Safe to say that we had been signed, you know, got everything was lined up. I don't know if we had our plane tickets or if the studio was booked yet. Probably.
And you recorded with Max Norman. Was that out in LA?
Yeah. Sound City.
Oh, awesome, man.
Yeah, legendary Sound City. And the board recorded was the same board as Nevermind. And
yeah.
I think it's in Dave Grohl's house or whatever. Anyway, so this song was, literally we're in Mark's kitchen, Mark Gary, the drummer, and we rehearsed it. We call it the kitchen. It wasn't technically a kitchen, but let me describe this for you because it's where all the songs were written, Mark's kitchen, as we like to call it. You walk in his house. And obviously he doesn't live there anymore. It was a rental and it was fucked up. But you walk in his house and there's a long hallway right? And then it opens up and drops down into the living room. Well, once it drops down into the living room, there's the couch, and you go further and up against the window is, Marshall half stack. And then there's the TV set.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's, some kind of, knick-knack shelving. And then there's a bass rig.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a Marshall half stack. And then
I can smell the cigarettes and cat litter boxes already, Jason.
yeah, gross. So then there's there might be a wedge down there and a couple of microphones down in there on either side of the fucking coffee table. And Mark and his wife lived like that.
Wait a second. This wasn't a rock and roll flop house for you guys. This is where he lived with his wife?
That's right. This is Mark's proper house. Like, you walk in and it's the 80s. So you can imagine what it looked like. Yeah. Imagine what the house looked like on Stranger Things, and that's what it fucking looked like. We don't really have basements in Texas.
Right.
There's basements in Texas in certain parts of Texas. But anyway, we're in South Austin in this rental house, and that's the scenario. But if you walk back up, if you're coming through the front door, you go down the hallway, and you would go veer to the left, there's what would be the dining area. And then there's like a banister that steps back down, in the sofas right there below the banister, right? So you got that little breakfast nook, right? Well, that was the drum riser. That was where Mark had his fucking drums. So, and then opposite that, behind the wall to my left, as you're walking down that hall, is the kitchen proper. So in that hallway is where I stood. Imagine like a booth. Well, it's a hallway, and I've got a wedge and a mic right there. And I just stood in the hallway. I'm not getting blasted with the drums and the Marshalls and such like that. It was perfect for a singer because I could hear the wedge good. I could hear myself good. It was perfect for a rehearsal situation.
Yeah, you had your own baffle walls that were the walls of the house.
Yeah, and then I got enough, of it echoing down the hallway like a shotgun right at my face, and no earplugs were harmed in the making of any Dangerous Toys song ever. So that's why I'm deaf today. Proud of it. Not really. So that's where all this stuff was going down. Back to where I was, we had gotten the deal. Everything is, we're freaking out. I'm like 22.
Yeah.
Had just turned maybe 22 that March.
Get a deal with Columbia Records. That's huge.
Yeah. In your early when you're 21. So Scott Dalhoover comes in with this riff, and he might argue, but in my opinion, probably not, but in my opinion, he was heavy dosed on Warren DeMartini from Rat, and of course Van Halen, but he likes Angus Young and Tony Iommi as well, and you can tell because he likes this dark thing mixed in with his boogie woogie ZZ Top fog hat,
Yeah.
But Rat had that too, and Van Halen definitely had all of that.
Yeah, I hear some Jake E. Lee in here too with some of these riffs.
Yeah, he was way into that Bark at the Moon riff, and all, Van, so
good.
That kind of riffage was all. His right hand was all stewed in that.
Mm-hmm.
So when he comes in with, and I'm going, wow, play that again. And he plays it again, and I just started kind of jiving on it, right? Just kind of like dummy lyrics. And I may have even had a couple lines, some crap notes with me, and I pulled them out, and I'm singing a melody. And, we already had the deal. We're already going. They were happy with what they heard.
Okay, so like Teasing and Pleasing and Sporting a Woody and those tracks were already demoed?
That's part of the whole story, too, is we didn't have a demo.
No kidding. So they signed you off seeing you live?
This is probably really early 88. A friend of mine sent a cassette tape that had the latest Watchtower demo, which was probably recorded in March or April of 87.
Were you the only one from Watchtower that went to Dangerous Toys?
That is correct.
Okay.
And it was 4 songs, that were quality. Sounded good. and then there was a live Dangerous Toys, which was this who the fuck is that kind of new rock band out of Austin.
I want to jump real quick and talk about Max Norman. When's the first time he heard Scared?
Oh, the first time he heard it was, fast forward to, we're in a studio right on Sunset that was either owned or rented by SBK Songs, which was the publishing company, which we secured first before we had a deal. South by Southwest 1988, the same year. Everything went down in 88. We got the publishing deal, South by. Celine Armbeck is her name. She went back to Los Angeles and hooked up with Tim Heine, who became our manager. They didn't know each other, which was a shock. And because he worked with Keel and Rat and all, the Y&T and all these bad motherfuckers out there for years.
Uh-huh.
And they didn't know each other. And move it along, push it forward. They got us the deal. We showcased in Austin. We showcased for like 7 labels, sleeping in our own bed. Only had played gigs in San Antonio and Austin. That's it.
And that's incredible because, as you know, I mean, it was, if you weren't from California, I mean, that's where everybody was, and then to a lesser degree, New York. And, Austin's always been a hotbed for rock and roll, but to get signed is awesome.
I could argue that, but yeah.
Well, I mean, I think that now it's you would never say something like that, but it certainly was a little different back then. And just real quick with Max Norman, looking at my notes, he did produce Bark at the Moon in '83, a bunch of Ozzy records, Blizzard and Diary.
There's this one thing, what's it called, Crazy Train or something like that? That's all you got to say. Yeah, I produced Crazy Train. You're hired.
Yeah, that is so cool. Well, listen, we got a lot to comb through. I want to jump into the track. It's 4 minutes and 2 seconds, and we get a backward cymbal right off the top. Shortest intro ever, Jason. We just get a yeah from you, and we're in verse 1. Was there ever an intro?
Yes, but I'm sorry to backpedal on you again. We're in Mark's kitchen, and we're creating this, and it's just parts, right? We're just putting parts together. The song starts in F, and I think it was just an E. And it just kind of rolled, and then we had the little breakdown part as a pre-chorus, and then it went back into the main riff, which verse has its breakdown, the arpeggiated thing, and then there's only simple variations of that, and then there's the thing, the bouncy part. So that's all there is. That's the whole song. And then you kind of arranged it. Well, none of that was arranged at all. That Max created that backward cymbal intro because he wanted to get right into the verse, and we were like, we got nothing to lose.
Yeah,
we'll just try it. And so bam, right into the verse. And we just went with that. There was no questions after that.
Well, the arrangement is killer. I love the arrangement of this song, and I love that there's no intro because, the song is 4 minutes. When you get to the guitar solo in this track, you're only like 1:30 into the song.
Yeah.
It comes so quick because you don't have this huge intro.
Yeah, who is the man in the white vest? I'm getting nervous, becoming a mess. Is he the doctor's man to take me away? All the same damn demon from yesterday. Waking up is bad to the impossible. Something in the story won't let me go. I'm shaking and I'm feeling sick. I guess I'm gonna need a vodka quick. Mama said,
Who is the man in the white vest? I'm getting nervous, becoming a mess. Is he the doctor's man to take me away? Or the same damn demon from yesterday? Waking up is virtually impossible. Something in this story won't let me go. I'm shaking and I'm feeling sick. I guess I'm going to need a vodka quick.
Tons of Alice Cooper references in there. No one, well, I'm not going to say no one, but most do not find any Alice in that at all. The white vest is, it's either what he's wearing when he sings Elected.
Yeah.
The white top hat, tuxedo thing, or is it his straitjacket vest, when he's wearing, I gotta get out of here, right? Ballad of Dwight Fry, he's wearing a straitjacket vest, right? And that's where I was going with it. And that kind of ties into, I got to get out of here. And then he had a record called Lace and Whiskey, and you'll find Lace and Whiskey mentioned in the pre-chorus, right?
Right.
Mama's Lace and Whiskey on the top shelf. There's all these little things. And in the breakdown, which is kind of a whisper track, Alice on one of his, and it might be in Lace and Whiskey, or on that album anyway, he mentions burgundy and white. Burgundy and white. And I think he's talking about a dress or like a doily or something frilly in a dream that he had. So think of this lyric about a nightmare. Alice Cooper, welcome to my nightmare. So once you go, aha, to me, just kind of telling you exactly that, okay, imagine you're in a horror movie. Well, that's a nightmare. Imagine this and that, and you're tied up to a chair or something, and there's this crazy you're wearing the straitjacket, and you're having this whole, I don't know, this experience, and all of these crazy things are happening to you that I'm describing. It's all coming from me listening to Alice Cooper and either reading lyrics or trying to figure out what he's saying and what he's talking about in there. And it was a great way to fantastically get into my own head as this information is going in, and I'm spitting it out onto paper, a different version of what might be happening to me.
Well, Jason, by the end of the 80s too, for me, even as a 16-year-old kid, I had some fatigue with, it's Saturday night, I'm going to get in the car, we're going to pick up, some beer and go to the party and get girls or whatever the lyrics were. And I loved a lot of those songs too, of course, but this song stuck out. This song wasn't that. And you were singing kind of in a lower register. It's just where this key of this song is for me is awesome, because when you go up to that octave at the end when you're wailing away, which we're going to get to, it just hits so much harder. Verse 1, lots of cool things in here. Drums, bass, stereo guitars, and a shaker panned off left are all rocking away with the lead vocal. On the second half of the verse, we get a harmony on Waking Up is Virtually Impossible. And you had mentioned, Jason, that palm-muted arpeggiated guitar hook joins the party here on the back half of verse 1 on the stereo guitars. Those little runs that he's doing there, or you talked about a little bit earlier, are just goosebump inducing. And let's talk about that harmony there. Did Max suggest that, or did you hear that? I love that there's just one harmony in this verse on that one line.
That was probably all of us. I'm not going to just give Max that credit, because I was hearing harmonies all over that place.
Right.
All over the place on this thing. And we just had to put them in subtly. So I would have harmonized on half the song,
You're one of those. Me too.
Well, just because it was screaming this, I had the melody. I'm not patting myself on the back, because I kind of didn't realize that I sort of borrowed it from somewhere, which is Rio Duran Duran. Her name is Rio, and she dances on the sand. Same harmony and everything. Different key.
No kidding. Hey,
I'm not even going to sing it.
Her name is Rio, and she dances on the sand.
That's right. Man, I really, really think. See, it's the same.
You're blowing my mind right now.
Yeah. So I was reading, in Hit Parader, they did like Raider record.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And the dude's in Fifth Angel, if you remember that
I
band.
do remember Fifth Angel, and we're talking, that's a very obscure band. Yes, I remember that.
Well, they're still around. I did a festival. They were on it last year, and I didn't meet the guys, but I was hoping to run into them and go, God, you guys rated Scared and Hit Parader, man, and you blew my mind, because that's where my eyes crossed and my mind exploded when I read that. It's because it's just Beavis and Butthead, Oh, this is a cool riff. Oh, wow. That's Rio from Duran Duran. And I was like, wait, what? And I had to literally sing my own song to realize that what he was talking about. It's not really wrong. It's not really wrong.
No, not at all. Now I'm hearing that, and I got to tell you, as we get further in the song, there's two parts in Scared that influenced me in 2 separate Less Than Jake songs. So we're gonna get to that.
Wow.
Again,
Okay.
man, this song means a lot. And talking about Alice Cooper again, back in the fall of '89, you didn't have the internet at your disposal. 16-year-old kid, I was hearing rumors. Alice Cooper to me was this icon from the 70s, but he was back with Poison in the fall of '89 with his comeback hit.
Yeah.
And I would be washing dishes and Scarab would come on and be Poison, and just the memories are just flooding right now and hitting me. We get into pre-chorus 1. This part is awesome. And it's a classic pre-chorus where the drums go to the bell on the ride cymbal. Stereo guitars, bass, and that shaker panned left are all here. I'm going to get into the lyrics real quick and have you break them down again, Jason, but I want to know that shaker panned off left. It goes through the whole song. Anybody ever talk about that? Because that's on a lot of Ozzy records too. You hear that shaker just keeps things moving.
Yeah, that's a Max Norman thing. And 99% of that percussion is just leaving that 1% because of bad memory. Was played by me and Mark. I played a lot of percussion on there. It was new to me, and I was like, hey, I want to do it. And Mike's was like, fucking go for it. I don't care. If you suck, I'm just going to pull you out. And I'm fine. And I ended up doing a lot of it. And I want to say Mark, drummer, Mark Gary played on Scared, but that was in there on almost every song, whether he was cutting it in and out in the mixes or not. But yeah, no one brings that up. A lot in interviews that are particularly focused on a track and the mix and breaking it all down, no one brings that up.
Yeah, no, it's
interesting.
It absolutely stuck out of me.
Mama says that whiskey on the top shelf. Somebody got caught up in my dream. Mom says I'll be riding carpets on my left, staring right in front of me.
Mama's lace and whiskey on the top shelf. Somehow they got caught up in my dream. Monsters on my right and cobwebs on my left. Scary man standing right in front of me.
Yeah, that would probably be Alice.
Uh-huh.
The scary man standing right in front of me, because his character is this sort of like vaudeville monster, right? This sort of like very old school hat and cane kind of jazz guy that haunts New Orleans or something, and that's kind of a weird. You could do like the Social Distortion skeleton man guy. It's sort of like that. Hey, I'm a dancing skeleton. I feel like Alice has that campy.
Yeah.
It's dripping in vaudeville, but it's mixed with horror. So
Alice's character's never aged. He was the same age.
That's right.
He was the same age when I was 16 as he is now. I see him. He's got the makeup on, and he looks exactly the same. Well, out of pre-chorus 1, we go straight into the chorus. We get a harmony on everything here. Hey man, I think I like being scared, and I wish you all were here. Yeah. So that's you just saying, hey, I'm embracing this feeling, and everyone join the party.
Well, not to jump all over the place, but the other pre-chorus, why am I starting to like this? Sort of sets up where the chorus ends up, right?
Okay.
Like, man, I think, like, why do I like scary shit? Why do I like horror films? Why do I love The Exorcist and Jaws so much? I saw those movies when I was too young to see those movies, and my mom was very liberal about that and wanted us to go. I want to go see the scariest shit out there, and my mom was cool with that.
Yeah.
And she took me and my younger brother, Randy, and we went and saw. I was in the front row for Jaws. And like, we lived in Corpus Christi down in the Gulf of Mexico. It would be like you're in Florida going to see Jaws when you're like 7 years old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And going, oh my God, I'm not going to the beach ever again.
Yeah.
Yeah, too bad we lived 2 feet from it, So that was always, why do I like this fear, daredevil kind of
adrenaline.
Shit? Yeah. And I think that the chorus sort of fell in my lap. Like, hey, man, that's a weak-ass lyric if you ask me. But if you keep going, hey, man, I think I like being scared. You're questioning yourself. You're you're doubtful about your confidence stepping into the haunted house or the water or to the edge of the cliff,
Yeah.
whatever it is. And I think that adrenaline is what the song is really about.
I love it. Well, chorus 1, no reintros, nothing, because there wasn't an intro. We go straight into verse 2. It's half the length of verse 1. That guitar palm muted arpeggio is right off the top here in verse 2.
Tomorrow if I get my strength, I'll put my daddy's gun to use. I hate it, feels like I'm drowning. The man's tied me up and I think he's drowning.
Tomorrow, if I get my strength, I'll put my daddy's gun to use. I hate it, feels like I'm drowning. The man's tied me up and I think he's frowning. We get harmonies on I hate it, in this verse. Put my daddy's gun to use. I always wondered about that line.
It's not a suicide note, right? But, I feel like some of Alice's lyrics mention, like he wrote a version of, it didn't get used in the movie, but he did a version of Man with the Golden Gun, the 007, right? And so there was that, and Lace and Whiskey kind of had that gangster vibe to it. And, he was always, he is, he likes old gangster movies and West Side Story and all the campy, weird, stuff. Alice, I am a gigantic Elton John fan, and so is Alice.
Mm-hmm.
Well, shit, so is everybody. But I feel like Elton and Bernie Taupin, his co-writer, always were fascinated with cowboys and swashbuckling pirate kind of, bank robbers and shit. And I feel like that element can go into the adrenaline, the scary thing, and struggling with alcohol abuse, and so there's that. And I don't really, well, I do, don't I? I talk about guns and whiskey and things that are kind of can be daunting and fuck you up.
Well, everything on this page now is jumping out at me. Okay.
Yeah.
But imagine a 16-year-old listening to this and hearing the rumors at school, oh, this is about Alice. And, I was a casual Alice fan at that point, okay?
Yeah.
Poison, that got me really into Alice. And I went back and I knew School's Out and Welcome to My Nightmare and certain things, but I really, really took a deep dive after, he had made his late 80s comeback. Want to get into pre-chorus 2, same overall instrumentation as pre-chorus 1, but different lyrics. I love these lyrics. Black Widow is his favorite bite. Why does the creature cling so tight? Makes her crawl on my face and neck. God, the man drives me a nervous wreck.
Well, that's deliberately stolen from Alice Cooper. He's got a song, You Make Me Nervous.
Mm-hmm.
And he might even say nervous wreck in a different song. And I'm paraphrasing, of course, but that's all from listening to Alice and like sort of channeling that. And I'm not literally listening to Alice and writing down lines that he said. I'm just kind of like, my memory is jumping back into, oh, what did he say? Oh, that would be cool to put this in its own, new sort of like,
you're cherry picking some cool Alice moments.
That's right. The phrase is, and that's why I dedicated the tune to him on the record, and because it was it made the story easy to tell. And I think that it sort of like welcomed everyone into the mind of, my mind, as well as maybe turned some, people just didn't know they were Alice Cooper fans until they fell in love with Scared. Because a lot of people seem to fall in love with Scared.
Oh yeah, it is such a classic.
Yeah, but back to the lyrics that you just quoted. Can you say some of those again? What was that?
Black Widow is his favorite bite. Why does the creature cling so tight?
Obvious Alice. Alice has the Black Widow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so, duh. Yeah.
Makes her crawl on my face and neck. God, the man drives me a nervous wreck.
Yeah, so all those covered. Those are deliberate Alice.
Yeah,
So.
I absolutely love that. And, now so many things are flooding back. I had the cassette single of Scared. I didn't have the red. I'm a liner note guy. I would have read Alice Cooper. Okay, so that's why that rumor was swirling around school. Okay. I had the whole record, but I had dubbed it high-speed dubbing. Remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I'm looking at my high-speed dubbing cassette deck right now.
See? Yeah. Anyone under 40 might have a problem with this, Jason, but you and I get
That's
it.
Okay.
Hey, everybody, don't go anywhere. We got lots more coming up with Jason McMaster after a few words from our sponsors.
Looking to elevate your music career? DistroKid is a digital music distribution service that enables musicians to distribute their music to online stores and streaming platforms such as Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, Amazon, Tidal, and many more. DistroKid collects earnings and payments, sending them to you, the artist. With DistroKid, artists unlock a world of possibilities. From easily paying collaborators with splits to securing your music with DistroLock, DistroKid covers all bases. Plus, you can promote your releases with Hyperfollow and create eye-catching visuals with a Spotify Canvas generator, all for free. But that's not all. Introducing the DistroKid app, now available on iOS and Android. Artists can manage their releases, view streaming stats, and withdraw earnings, all from the palm of their hand. And for those looking to perfect their sound, check out Mixia. With its simple interface and customizable mastering options, artists can make their music sound polished and professional within minutes. And don't forget about Instant Share, DistroKid's newest feature. Share large files securely with collaborators, producers, and more, ensuring your music streams at the highest quality. Ready to take your music to the next level? Download the DistroKid app and explore their suite of tools today. Plus, listeners can enjoy 30% off their first year by visiting distrokid.com/VIP/DeMakes. That's distrokid.com/VIP/DeMakes.
When you think about businesses that are selling through the roof, like Skims or Allbirds, sure, you think about a great product, a cool brand, and great marketing. But an often overlooked secret is actually the businesses behind the business, making selling and for shoppers buying simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. It's home of ShopPay, the #1 checkout in the world. You can use it to boost conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales going through to checkout. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Allbirds uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/income, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/income to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/income.
Close your eyes, exhale, feel your body relax, and let go of whatever you're carrying today.
Well, I'm letting go of the worry that I wouldn't get my new contacts in time for this class. I got them delivered free from 1-800-CONTACTS. Oh my gosh, they're so fast.
And breathe.
Oh, sorry. I almost couldn't breathe when I saw the discount they gave me on my first order. Oh, sorry. Namaste.
Visit 1-800-CONTACTS.com today to save on your first order.
1-800-CONTACTS.
The Red Hot Clearance event is on right now at Burlington, and I'm excited for the markdowns. It's all about savings on top of savings throughout the store. This is when I stock up on styles for my closet, home decor, and much more, because there's up to 70% off other retailers' prices on clearance. I mean, I'm going every day because these prices, too hot to miss. Burlington. Deals, brands, wow. Styles and selections may vary by location.
On WhatsApp, no one can see or hear your personal messages. Whether it's a voice call, message, or sending a password. To WhatsApp, it's all just this. So whether you're sharing the streaming password in the family chat or trading those late-night voice messages that could basically become a podcast, your personal messages stay between you, your friends, and your family. No one else. Not even us. WhatsApp. Message privately with everyone.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm.
Knowing you could be saving money for the things you really want, like that dream house or ride, is a great feeling. That's why the State Farm Personal Price Plan can help you save when you choose to bundle home and auto. Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Hey, I'm Chris Fafalius, producer of Chris DeMakes a Podcast, and also host of One Hit Thunder. Each week on the One Hit Thunder podcast, we take a look into a one-hit wonder band or artist to determine if they deserved more success or if they were lucky to even have a hit at all. We've covered When in Rome, Jaquan, Shanice, Yellow, Squirrel Nut Zippers, Jesus Jones, Positive K, Mazzy Star, and hundreds more. With new episodes every Wednesday and special guests from the worlds of music and comedy, we always have nonstop fun, and maybe, if we're lucky, we discover some new favorite music. So if you love great songs and you often find yourself asking, whatever happened to that band? Check out One Hit Thunder wherever you get your podcasts. And now, back to the show.
I got to tell you, I think you referred to this next part as a pre-chorus because the chorus comes next, but I'm calling this the first bridge in the song. We get two bridges, and what a cool spot! I've always
You're not wrong.
I've always loved this part. It's a total mood and scenery change here for the first bridge. It's half as long as the bridge we're going to get to in a little bit.
To be clear, I'm singing a pre-chorus, same melody and everything, different lyrics, over a different composition, a broken down composition.
Right. And those everything is tucked down here a hair. The bass guitar tone is absolutely ripping, and the stereo guitars go to clean chord ring outs here. Why am I starting to like this? He hasn't hurt me yet. But it's different now, just a whim. Maybe I'm becoming his pet. Jason, for 36 years, I've thought, but it's different now, just as well. Maybe I'm becoming his pet. I did not. That's the lyric, just a whim, huh?
Yeah. I feel like I'm describing a tiny little bit of torture.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's basically a villain. I'm frozen or tied to a chair, and he's, there's anything, snakes and rats and spiders and, the simpleton haunted house Halloween ingredients, right? And then you've got the villain, and there's all of this twisted stuff going on as I'm describing throughout the song. And then there's the real danger with the gun and the whiskey and the, vodka and, the scary things in life that can really, really hurt you. Well, why do I like this being taunted? And that's like you said it right. It's the adrenaline thing.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Was this part? Because I know that everything was kind of thrown in the blender when you were in the kitchen house recording on this. But when you get out to Sound City, you're putting the track together. Do you ever remember the pre-chorus 2 going straight into chorus 2, or did you have this bridge part? Because it's genius.
Well, I had to rhyme with yet, so I found pet. And it really worked, because if I'm tied to a chair, obviously I'm his toy.
Yeah.
I'm his dangerous toy.
Yeah, it's
right?
like Reservoir Dogs, exactly.
Yeah, and it ties into the song tied into everything. It tied into the album cover, and these were not
the evil clown.
Yeah, these were things that were not planned out. As we realized much after the fact, everything tied into everything else. So we were really on a roll and we didn't even know it. Yeah, everything kind of happened so fast too. It's strange.
The last line, maybe I'm becoming his pet. I wrote in my notes, Jason, it's sarcastically half-spoken. Let's talk about that line real quick. Was that sung at any point? Did you think, hey, maybe I should whisper? Again, that whisper, because there's some other whispering kind of gives that creepy Alice thing to this, or I think it's just perfect.
I definitely wanted to. I didn't want to sing hard up to the chorus. I really wanted to lightly touch and get that, sha-da-da into, bagata, ta-da into the chorus again, sort of, swell with boom, hey man, which resembles the intro.
Yes. Well, that's awesome because I think the chorus hits harder because not only is the lead vocal just ripping here in the chorus, but you get the harmonies again.
By this time, the song has gone down to E, by the way.
Yes,
it's not an F anymore.
We're not an F anymore, no. And that's the other thing about this track that's so cool. Chorus 2, hey man, I think I like being scared, and I wish you all were there. Same as chorus 1, but then it goes on. It's a double chorus. Man, I really think that I think I like being scared. And that is the Less Than Jake reference. We have a song called Automatic on our first major label album. The first lyric of the song is, I think I know it all. And
wow,
I love that notion of I think. It's like you're questioning yourself with a question. And I would like to think that I borrowed that from the second verse here, or second chorus of Dangerous Toys Scared.
Words are fun. Like I've been hearing a lot lately. Hurt people.
Ah, yes.
See what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think, was I fell into that, and the hey man, I'm literally, and this is, I don't want to like bum people out, but I'm fairly new at this point in my life. I'm fairly new to lyric writing. In Watchtower, which I was in for almost a decade prior to the Toys, the Billy and Doug from Watchtower wrote the lyrics. I was the singer and wrote the melody, sure, but they wrote the lyrics. So lyric writing was really new to me. So falling into these songs, it became hits, whatever, marginal hits, however you want to, big MTV #1 hits. I don't know. I feel strange saying that, but yeah, these lyrics, I was just kind of like, I guess this was gonna work, and they wouldn't, maybe if you were just reading them written on the sidewalk, it would be just graffiti garbage, but you need the band and the music and the song and the vibe, and you need Max Norman and you need Scott Dalhoover, and you need, to get my lyrics to actually come alive. You need Alice Cooper.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, you
need Elton John.
You just summed up this show. I've always said that. The band is the sum of its parts, all those ingredients. You wonder why, hey, the second record, they got the better. This guitar player runs circles around the first guy. Yeah, but the swagger and the pissed off bravado and rock and roll notion of the whole thing is gone. It's not the same.
I got two words for you. Malcolm Young.
Yeah. That's the stamp. Game
drop.
over. Yeah. Mic drop.
Game over. Yeah.
Well, out of chorus 2, we get into a 16-bar guitar solo. The first 4 bars, Jason, this is so cool. I never realized it till I got it under the microscope here. The first 4 bars in the solo, they're in stereo. And then for the last 12, it all gets panned to about 11 o'clock over here.
That's all Max. Yeah.
That's so cool. Only on the first 4 bars. Then it goes. It's still double tracked, but it just shifts the placement in the mix. It's so cool. Drums, bass, and stereo guitars, and that shaker hasn't left us. Still panned off left. And then we get into pre-chorus 3. Same instrumentation and lyrics as pre-chorus 1. Mama's lace and whiskey on the top shelf. Somehow they got caught up in my dream. Monsters on my right and cobwebs on my left. Scary man standing right in front of me. And then we get into Bridge 2. This is so cool. And it's whispered when it comes in. I don't like it here. And then we get some wind chimes that come in. The second line, I never knew what you were saying there. I still can't figure out what you're whispering.
Burgundy and Wyatt.
Burgundy.
Remember I said Burgundy and Wyatt.
That's
hold on. I say, why are these bones on the floor?
That's okay. I was going to say, yes. Okay. Why are these bones? That's what you say there.
Yeah, why are what the hell is going, this is me actually getting a chance to look around because the glitter has hit the ground.
Mm-hmm.
The dust has settled, right? And I'm going, because that's really the first real break in the song. You got vocals all the way, and then you got the solo, and then you got this oh shit, that was stressful. Wow, what? Kind of a vibe. And that was created by the band. To go back to the lines that you just quoted, there's a thing that I do, and I swear I remember like it was yesterday, Max asking me to sing that line, Mama's last, like that little
little swoop.
Papa Wheelie right there, the scoop right there. I think he asked me to do that as like an old Janis Joplin or just an old Steven Tyler, which are the same person.
Yes.
They dress alike. They sound alike. No one puts that together either.
Yeah.
But I'm way into that. And me and Max would talk about ways to sing the same line again, the same, but not really the same, that would jump on you. Right.
Mm-hmm. Well, we got one of those coming up that I want that we're going to talk about. The back half here, after we get that second whispered line, we get some guitar harmonics that come in after that wind chime before the vocals start. When the vocals start, it's the same instrumentation as the first bridge with the drums, bass, and those clean ring out stereo guitars. But we also get the palm muted arpeggiated guitar part that comes in here. It's so cool. Yeah. And here's the lyric. Why am I starting to like this? He hasn't hurt me yet. But it's different now, just a whim. Maybe my mind is secretly becoming his pet. And we get that half. No, that's wrong.
Lyric. That's wrong lyric. Maybe I'm inescapably becoming his pet.
Whoa.
Boom.
Am I the only one that's ever thought it was secretly?
That's the first time I've ever heard it.
It's in the lyrics that...
Maybe I'm inescapably becoming his pet.
Wow. Which
is, I think, pretty much exactly how I sang it or spoke it.
I'm blown away because the first time is maybe I'm becoming.
That's a pet. Max Norman word. He goes, "You need another word here, mate. Yeah, it's not gonna. Yeah, you need something. You got to do it slightly different here. All right. What do you want?
Before I go on stage, I have what I call the LTJ Metal Hour on the tour bus. It's usually just my trombone player and I sitting there, and we, about a half hour before the show, and I got my little speaker out, and we're listening to music, and it's always just my metal playlist, and Scared will come on, and that lyric, I've always sang it. Maybe my mind is secretly becoming his pet, and that's the same exact thing that's on Google. When you look up the lyrics, I love that you just schooled me. 36 years, I thought it was that.
Well, it's not your fault, especially if people rely on the internet, because the internet AI is transcribing these what it thinks that it hears, and it's interesting that it thinks that it hears that and will not stand up in court. Backwards masking is only real but created by the church. So
truer words have never been spoken.
They get it all wrong all the time.
Yeah.
So the computers are from the church. The backward masking is created by the church. Oh, and Venom and Slayer are like, oh, that's a good idea. We should do that on our record. And it says, hi, eat at Joe's or whatever.
Well, I love this, and I can't blame AI or Google. I just Googled these after the fact for the show here, but that's what I heard in my 16-year-old head all those years ago. Out of the bridge, we come in to the rest of the song is just one big chorus. It's 5.5 choruses to end this bad boy. It fades out at the end, but we get a full chorus. Hey, man, I think I like being scared, and I wish you all were there. Man, I really think that I like being scared. And then we get into the second Less Than Jake. I'm driving my 84 crap brown Buick Century that my mom gifted me back home from Ria's.
Awesome.
I smell like Italian dressing. I can smell the car. I might even be having a Marlboro Light on the way home, and hopefully it'll air out before I get to mom and dad's place. And I'm cruising home, and this a cappella part comes, and I go, if I ever get in a band, I want to do that. I want to ape this part. And we have a song called Help Save the Youth of America from Exploding on our Hello Rockview record, Less Than Jake. Second track, we have the a cappella part at the end of the song. It's my tribute, second tribute to Dangerous Toys. I thought that was and you guys weren't the first or last to do that trick, but something about that lyric, it just hit this 16-year-old kid. I absolutely love it. And after the a cappella part, we get the backwards cymbal again to take us into the back half of that chorus. And then the last couple choruses here, you're what I refer to as you're kind of scatting. And that's when you go up the octave and you're screaming. And this was the second rumor, Jason. And I said, no, he'd be in the video. He's a huge star. They would have had him. People at school were saying that that's Axl Rose at the end. And I would say, no, that is not Axl Rose singing the high part here. That was a rumor in my high school.
That's ridiculous that, that just because the most popular video on MTV or the most popular song at the time has I've gone a little bit gray and white, but a skinny, tattooed, red-haired guy who sings like Dan McCafferty and Janis Joplin and Steven Tyler at the top of his lungs in the stratosphere, that there's only one of those in the fucking universe.
Yeah, right.
And everyone I mentioned on my list right there, Axl's into those people as well.
Yeah.
He got that whole thing from all of those kind of guys. To say Axl Rose was an influence on that, they need to hear Watchtower. I'm singing like that on every fucking song. In the stratosphere, scratchy honey badger, screamy, here you go, beating around the bush.
Oh, yeah.
Third verse.
Yep.
I mean, that's, Bon Scott,
little
then Brian
AC/DC.
Johnson. Yeah, it's all over the place, and someone's going to come out and say, listen to me get defensive. It's funny that people would just immediately jump to that, but I'll backpedal. It's not their fault, because it's what they had been exposed to. They don't know Nazareth and Janis Joplin and the first 4 Aerosmith records. They just don't.
But also, wasn't there a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for, Jason? Like ambiguity in rock and roll. We didn't know what the guys in Kiss looked like for a long time. And you never could imagine meeting your bands. Now they got Cameo. You can go do VIP meet and greets. We never had that 36 years ago. It didn't exist. So these rumors would happen in school. How many Mick Jagger and David Bowie rumors and all these guys, Freddie Mercury, did we hear as kids that, turned out not to be true, but we all believed them.
Well, how many dads in the 60s and 70s went, Is that a boy or a girl singing?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I didn't know you had a girl in your band. No, Dad, that's me, dumbass. You don't recognize your own son's voice? I don't know. You sound like a girl to me. I don't think he ever said that. I just think that it's funny. Are those boys or girls? That's rock and roll, because you realize it doesn't matter if it's pulling at your heartstrings, tear-jerking, emotional responses are happening because of sound you're hearing. That's what music is for. And I think that most people need to just wake up and realize that this is supposed to make you feel a certain way. And if you're questioning, oh, I'm not supposed to feel that way, well, then you got a problem.
Yeah, you're questioning.
Yeah, right.
Questioning why you feel it. Well, after fourth time through here, the mix begins to fade, and we're also getting other vocals from you left and right. It almost sounded like maybe you were warming up on the mic, and just some stuff that Max Norman kind of sprinkled in there at the end. Huh. It just kind of feels like you were maybe ad-libbing a little bit. And
the whole outro is ad-libbed.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what it's.
The scatting is ad-libbing. Yeah.
Yeah. So good. And then the song of course fades out. And before we break, a couple things. Thank you for taking the time out to talk about Scared. This song, I told you, and I'll tell you again, it's meant a lot to me. I listen to it multiple times a year, if not more. It's just on a playlist all the time. It's just part of my childhood. And before we break, anything coming up with you you'd like to promote? Any Broken Teeth stuff? Another killer band of yours.
Yeah, Broken Teeth playing this weekend. This probably won't be aired by then. I don't know, but we've got a couple of things. Broken Teeth has been writing a little bit, but we're just really slow. We'll put out a live record during the pandemic, and that was the last studio record was called 4 on the Floor, and that's available everywhere. The live album's available everywhere. The live album is called Evil in the Queue, and brokenteeth.com. But I just got back from Germany. I did a few festivals fronting a band called S.A. Slayer. Not Slayer, S.A. Slayer.
I've read about them, and you also filled in some shows last year for Accept.
Well, it would have been in like 2022.
22. Okay, so it was that long.
Yeah.
Okay, it feels like it was.
And then I did some in 23 with Armored Saint.
Yeah.
So Accept and Armored Saint.
Those are two really different singers. Udo going to John Bush. Love Armored Saint. And I listened to both live performances you did with both bands, man. You killed it.
Thanks, man. That was an honor. And when the Accept thing happened, the funny thing is I'm sitting there, fresh off the plane. I'm in the dressing room just meeting the guys, tripping out, right?
Yeah.
Meet and greet's about to happen, and I'm just and my phone's blowing up, and I'm getting text messages from John Bush going, "Wait, what?" Because they did a press release that morning, right? And he's like, "Dude, Accept," and I'm like, "Yeah." Trip, he's like, "How do you know all those fucking lyrics?" I said, "I don't," and I took a picture of my cheat sheets.
Oh.
But I said, "I don't," and this is what I basically it's a binder with a flashlight duct tape to it. It's a poor man's teleprompter, one I can bring on the plane.
Yeah.
I've upgraded since then. Have teleprompter, you can sing in any band over, no rehearsal, just bam, into the fire. And I've done it. Dude, who knew lightning strikes in the same place? I mean, it was Accept, and then like just a few months later, it was Armored Saint, and I was like, wait, what? And, Todd LaTorre from Queensryche was texting me going, dude, what the hell?
Yeah.
So it's this sort of outer body, I'm not worthy kind of, insane. But yeah, total honor. I love those bands so much. I grew up and, had befriended. It's funny, Dangerous Toys did a couple of shows opening for Accept in '89. It was a twofer.
Oh, is that when they were on the Eat the Heat tour?
It was.
Yeah, David Reese. Well, wow. Here's another thing I want to ask you before we break, and I almost forgot. What was it like meeting Alice? You guys did the Operation Rock and Roll tour in 1991. It was you guys, Metal Church, Judas Priest, Motorhead, and Alice Cooper.
Yeah, how do you top that?
I don't know. What a
bill.
How
do you? Yeah, I could die a happy man in '92.
Yeah, you got to breathe the same air as Alice and Lemmy. That's awesome.
I had toured with my idols. Yeah.
That's incredible.
I already knew the Metal Church guys because they in the mid '80s, '85, '86, they had come through Texas, and we loved that first Metal Church record. So me and my friends were all about going and hanging with those guys and helping them load in. And me and my friends were all big in the metal underground tape trading scene and all that. So So I had known a bunch of those guys. And funny, Watchtower has been doing reunion shows since 23. And we were in Germany, direct support for Metal Church. So I'm seeing, the original guitar player who's still in the band, Kurt Vanderhoof, and I'm seeing him. I'm going, dude, it's been 1,000 years. What, but he wasn't in the version of Metal Church that was out, but I knew the other John Marshall,
who ended up playing with Metallica for when James hurt his hand.
Yeah, Tech was Kirk Hammett's tech on Master Puppets tour, etc. So anyway, I knew all these cats, and so here we are, like in summer '91, going, wow, holy shit! It was just 5 years ago we were at the Ritz downtown in Austin.
I was humping your gear,
setting up a Metal Church gig, and it's like, wow, crazy. And that was amazing. But I had met Alice at the Whiskey the summer that the debut came out.
No kidding.
And I had made sure to tell him, "You've heard Scared, right? It's dedicated to you. It's on the yeah." They told me all about it. I've heard a great song, cool, and it was too much, Wayne's World. I'm not worthy, like literal with Alice, going. I'm meeting Alice Cooper right now. This is insane. And, everyone's pawing at him the whole time, and we're in the dressing room. It's a private room, and it's Sony Music. Well, it's pre-Sony merger. So it's CBS.
Yeah.
And he had just signed with Epic, and we were on Columbia, and that's the same umbrella. So we were just in this dressing room with all these people hanging out. It's crazy. And then, we did press for the Operation Rock and Roll. I have a picture right over there. If you don't mind, can I go grab it?
Yeah, I would love to see it.
You're going to want to see this.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe some people can one-up me on this, but this is a picture my wife found.
Oh, dude, that is...
We did press for Operation Rock and Roll. Lemmy didn't show up. No one from Metal Church showed up. It was me and Mark from the Toys, and Alice and Rob Halford. And so me and Mark are on a Jeep behind this tank on Sunset Boulevard in front of the Whiskey, because that's where all the press was, photographers and writers and what have you, and label people. And I'm on a Jeep with Mark, and photographers and managers and press people are like, Jason, what are you doing back here? Go get up on that tank with Rob and Alice. And I'm like, I'm not worthy. So I did. And in my mind right here, I mean, how many people do you know, and I feel like an ass asking this, have can say they rode a tank down Sunset, nonetheless, with Alice Cooper and Rob Halford?
Nobody.
This is an anomaly right here.
Yeah, you wrote a song about the guy 2 years prior, and now you're riding a tank down Sunset with him.
Yeah, so I'm not really like hanging out, like hugging these guys and having beers and smokes. It's more like right here in this photo, me sitting on the tank with these cats, I'm going, okay, just be cool. Just try to be cool.
I love
Try to be cool.
I love that.
And the thing is, I never saw any photographs because everyone's going chicken with, old school cameras, right? Film cameras, right? And I never saw anything. They just weren't used for anything. So years and years later, I'm married, and my wife finds this photo just randomly on the internet, just floating on somebody's website. Rocker, it said something dumb like rocker dudes on a tank. Didn't even say who it was.
Yeah.
And these right here are tickets, unused tickets from the tour.
That is awesome.
Yeah. So the press day, I mean, like I said, I met Alice Cooper, but that's it. I didn't get to, hang out and have coffee.
That's amazing.
Yeah, he's on the golf course all the time anyway.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
We're gonna wrap up. Jason, thank you again for taking the time today, man. I really appreciate it.
No, my pleasure. I hope people learned about how this was put together. It was just on a wing. The song was not done. We threw it into pre-production and played it all shitty for Max the first time, and we had to go into pre-production and finish it out. And with his help, it really made the record soar right there after Teasin' Pleasin'. So
absolutely.
Hey everybody, I hope you enjoyed that conversation with Jason McMaster. I loved hearing Chris in his element talking about the music that he loves, and I can't wait to talk to him about it in the rap segment that's coming right up after a few words from our sponsors.
Prime delivery is fast. How fast are we talking? We're talking puzzle toys and lick pad delivered so fast you can get this puppy under control fast. We're talking chew toys at your door without really waiting fast. Pee pads, cooling mat, and peg hammer fast and fast. And there's training TREATS faster than you can say sit fast. And now we can all relax and order these matching hoodies to get cozy and cute fast. Fast free delivery. It's on Prime.
Not all meals are created equal. For instance, breakfast has the spicy egg McMuffin for a limited time, and lunch doesn't. McDonald's breakfast comes first. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Pro Savings Days doorbuster deals are on at Lowe's. My Lowe's Pro Rewards members save an additional $120 on a GE 21.9 cubic foot top freezer refrigerator. Plus, members save $70 on a Bosch hammer drill, now only $99. Not a Pro Rewards member? Join for free today. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 7/23 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. See Lowe's.com/terms for details. Subject to change.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Make your next move with American Express Business Platinum. Enjoy complimentary access to the American Express Global Lounge Collection. And with a welcome offer of 150,000 points after you spend $20,000 on purchases on the card within your first 3 months of membership, your business can soar to new heights. Terms apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business-platinum. Amex Business Platinum. Built for business by American Express.
This episode is brought to you by Liquid IV. In heart-pumping moments, you need hydration that can keep up. That's where Liquid IV comes in. Scientifically formulated to quickly replenish electrolytes and fluids lost from your well-earned sweat session. Hydrate your favorite mode of movement with Liquid IV. Made with triple the electrolytes of the leading sports drink, plus 8 vitamins and nutrients. Also available and sugar-free. Tear, pour, live more. Visit liquidiv.com to learn more.
Hey everyone, Chris DeMakes here, and I've got some exciting news. Chris DeMakes a Podcast is now on Patreon. Your support is what keeps this show going, allowing us to bring you deep dives into amazing songs from incredible artists every week. When you join our Patreon at chrisdemakes.com, you'll get instant access to hundreds of episodes of The After Party, our weekly bonus show where producer Chris Fafalius and I talk music history, trivia, tour stories, classic albums, and whatever else comes to mind. Plus, you'll get early ad-free episodes of Chris DeMakes a Podcast, unedited video versions of each episode, and, of course, a brand new episode of The After Party every single week. If our show brings you a little joy, help us keep it going strong for just a couple bucks a month at chrisdemakes.com. Not ready to commit? No problem. You can sign up for a free membership while you decide. Thanks so much, everyone, and I hope to see you all at The After Party.
As we near near the end of the show. Here's a band you might not know.
Welcome to this week's Band You Might Not Know. If you'd like your band to be considered for Chris DeMakes a Podcast, email your best song via MP3 only and a short bio to bandyoumightnotknow@gmail.com. This week's feature artist is The Black Stone, a hard rock band from London, England, featuring Joe Warner on guitar and vocals, Tim Williams on bass, and Bobby Schubotham on drums and vocals. These guys are pushing 40, but they pound beers like they're in their early 20s. Here's a snippet of their song, White Lines.
Now I'm out of time. Heart is pounding, head is spinning, I'm in overdrive. Oh, yeah, I'll make it through another night. White lines. No sleep until the sunrise. White lines. I'll see you on the other side. Let me tell you.
The Wrap with Chris and Chris.
Chris, it's always fun to hear you talk to someone who influenced you as a teenager. I know there's maybe a few people out there who are members of our Patreon who get to watch the videos of this, but you're just smiling the whole time. And like I just told you before we hit record on this wrap, I love how you can there's no reference that one of these rock guys from this era can throw at you that you don't know. It could be the most obscure band or band member or producer. You know it all. You can't stump you on this era of music.
Yeah, Jason kind of looked like he didn't believe me when I said I know who Fifth Angel is. I mean,
yeah.
I remember Fifth Angel being advertised in Hit Parader magazine, and I did know that they've been out playing festivals recently. But this is really cool. You know, Dangerous Toys were one of those bands for me. They were a periphery band. I can't say I was a huge fan of their whole catalog, but this song, it was different. You know, these 16-year-old ears were fatigued by the end of the 80s with the let's go get some women in fast cars. And, you know, it was played out. Van Halen did it best. And it became regurgitative after that. And this song was different. It was about horror movies mixed with rock and roll, Alice Cooper, and it spoke to me.
Yeah. I like that you guys talked about, like, why do we like scary stuff? And you hit it on the nose. It's the adrenaline of it. It's why I love a good roller coaster. Or, you know, sometimes I'm watching some really messed up horror movie. I'm like, why am I watching this? And also, why do I like this? So, you know, some of these things in this song you're talking about, it all came around to Alice Cooper. Mm-hmm. I thought that was so funny to hear that because I was thinking to myself, wow, it's so interesting to write a song about another rock star or another band. And why or how do you come to doing that? And I realized it's because he was 21 years old at the time. That's still a young songwriter.
It is. And even he said, he's like, you know, he doesn't think, hey man, to start out a chorus is a good lyric. Well, you know what? I disagree. I think it's cool in this context of this song. He was a kid. He wasn't the lyricist in his former band. He got in this band. It's like, hey kid, can you write lyrics? He's like, oh, I'll take a stab at it. Give me a pen. And here you have it. If these are my first lyrics, I'm pretty proud of them.
Right. I mean, you're talking about putting this album in your car and driving around. You're listening to this song when you're first starting to drive. You're 16 years old. Well, this guy isn't even that much older than that when he wrote this song. He's still a young person as well. I also thought it was funny, Chris. You're talking to this guy about a song you were rocking when you were 16 years old and first driving your car would be the equivalent of me at 16 years old. What was I listening to when I was first driving a car? I was listening to you. I think that's so funny, not to suck up to you a little bit more here, but that is honestly the equivalent of me talking to you about a song you wrote, that I'm listening to of yours.
I'll never forget that fall. I had my first real girlfriend. I had a car. I was working I started at the restaurant job I was speaking of, and I ended up getting like one or two other jobs at some point. And, so I had money. I had money to go to the movie theater. I had money to buy the new Dangerous Toys cassette single or whatever else. And having a car at 16, I had my first taste of what I felt was real freedom.
Yeah, for sure. And hey, you brought up some Less Than Jake references that were related to this song. My mind was blown. I got to tell you, I never knew, Automatic was like one of the first Less Than Jake songs I liked. I loved that song to this day. It's one of my favorite Less Than Jake songs. I never knew that first line, I think I know it all. I just thought you were repeating that just because it sang well. I never in my life thought about the fact that you're saying, I think I know it all. That never registered with me.
I didn't realize that I had lifted it from the Dangerous Toys song till years later. Okay, that's when it dawned on me. I'll rarely take credit for lyrics when Vinny Fiorello, our Less Than Jake's original drummer, was in the band. He wrote 99.9% of the lyrics. I've always said that, and everyone knows that. But I remember, I think it was just, I think I know it all. That was the first lyric, and I went, I think I know it all. Right. And subconsciously that dripped in from this song from Dangerous Toys. I know it did, but that I think you're questioning whether you know anything.
I mean, but you know what I mean, right? I just assume that it just I think like I don't know, it just sings well. It's just like the way it came out. I never thought about what that means. I think I know it all. That just gives it such a deeper meaning to me or something. That's very cool. I think it's crazy that this band got signed to a major label without a demo. This dude's 21 years old, doesn't even make a demo. So what was it that somebody sent them his other band's demo?
They had played South by Southwest. Okay. And that still goes on today. It's in Austin, Texas. It's a music showcase. It's typically in March every year. And they played and they got noticed. And next thing you know, they got a record deal. And, he had said something, I don't know exactly what he was alluding to, but he's like, well, I could make an argument of that. But, really, bands, weren't getting signed outside of LA and to a lesser degree, New York. You typically were in one of those spots back in the day. And Austin, Texas is an amazing rock and roll town. Texas has always been great for country and rock and roll and blues. But they kind of got discovered like that. The fact that Scared wasn't even part of those first couple demos that they ended up making, crude demos in his guitar player's house, but very cool story.
Speaking of cool stories, how about the fact this very young person who got signed to a major label and wrote a song completely influenced by and about Alice Cooper? Was it 2 years later, that photo he's showing us, that not only is he touring with them, he's riding on a tank down Sunset Boulevard with Alice Cooper, and just as a little bonus, Rob Halford's also there.
Yeah, and it was called Operation Rock and Roll. So that's why they took the tank down Sunset. I mean, that's about living your dreams. He kept saying, I'm not worthy. How many times have I've talked to you about this. We've talked in the after party about me being at Grammy Award shows going, why am I here? Right. I don't feel like I belong. I don't care if I did sell 10 million records and I had an expendable bank account for my grandchildren's grandchildren. I'm still going to feel like a fly on the wall here. I'm never going to feel comfortable. And he alluded to that many times, and I get it. I totally get that.
Right. I mean, you never know where these songs you write in a kitchen, in this example, in somebody's kitchen or a practice space or wherever, where it's going to take you. That's what's so funny about this whole thing, where we do a songwriting podcast and you never know where these songs are going to take you. So I thought this was a lot of fun, man. I told you, obviously, I wasn't familiar with this song. I was, I'm a few years younger, and I was thinking about this era when this song came out. I was listening to New Kids on the Block and New Edition and Belle Biv DeVoe and stuff. This is completely foreign to me, but I still thought this was a fascinating episode. This was so cool.
Well, thank you. Yeah. And hey, we got, another Less Than Jake song out of it with the a cappella part in this song. Was definitely an inspiration for Help Save when Roger and I do the a cappella part at the end of the tune. But hey, if you want to support this podcast, head over to ChrisDeMakes.com. That's where our Patreon sits, and you can, sign up for a price of a cup of coffee a month or two and get bonus episodes of The After Party, where Chris and I will enlighten you with whatever's on our mind this week. ChrisDeMakes.com. And Chris, you got any reviews for us this week?
Yeah. Hey, if you like this show, first and foremost, like Chris said, our Patreon at ChrisDeMakes.com is the number one way you can allow us to continue making this show. Those of you who are members already, thank you so much. You're the reason we can still do this. So thank you. And yes, please leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, or you can leave a 5-star review on Spotify as well. But you never know. Maybe we'll read your review like I'm about to do right now. We got a review this week, Chris, from a user named Papio13. Papio13.
All right.
Thanks for the 5-star review. They wrote, hooked, and said, I came for the Cyrus Baluki interview. I'll be staying for everything else. Chris is every bit as personable here as on stage, unsurprisingly.
That's almost frightening, but okay.
What do they mean by that?
I don't know, because I've had people tell me, like, oh my gosh, you sound so professional and so nice when you're on your podcast. You get on stage, act like an idiot. Well, thank you very much, Papio13.
Papio13, that's right.
Papio13. Awesome. Well, yeah, Chris, this was an awesome episode. Thanks for everybody. Thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting us. I really appreciate it. I want to thank this week's guest, Jason McMaster from Dangerous Toys, for sitting in with us, and we'll catch you next Monday. Hey, friends. Have you been loving Chris DeMakes a Podcast? Well, spread the love by leaving a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Don't hesitate to share what you enjoy about the show in an actual written review on Apple Podcasts. Not only does it help more people discover us, but we often read reviews in the wrap segment of the show. It's a quick, cost-free way to support us and takes just a minute of your time. Your reviews mean the world to us and help us keep the podcast thriving. Thank you for being a listener, and thank you for being a friend.